So, the Iser plan it's overrated as hell, right?
Take it back. You don't mean that.
Make me. I won't take it back.
Take it back.
I won't take it back. Fine. The Iser plan isn't overrated.
That's right.
Allegedly. Welcome to another episode of Allegedly Podcast. I am Lucas, and today I am joined by a friend of the show, resident hockey guy, Mr. Jack Abel.
What's up?
Hey, man.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you back. I was going to say, we are... So, as of filming, we are filming this on January 26th. The basically mid-season hockey break, All-Star Weekend, will be... next weekend.
Coming up, yep.
Yep, coming up. So we thought this would be a good time to double check your predictions, see how good you are, and see if you are the hockey guy. We got to double check. And
some of them are good. The other ones
yeah,
need to work. But
yeah,
we'll get there.
But
no one bats 100%.
No, but we'll see how it goes here. Again, thank you for coming back on.
Always
I'm happy to have you. So let's go. Let's review. We'll start going through your picks for division winners. Let's start for the Atlantic. Who we got winning the Atlantic?
So here? The Atlantic, it's the Bruins are back on top because they're just really good, and I thought they'd drop off, and they just haven't. I mean, they're not the league records they were last year, breaking every record, but they're still really good, really deep.
Yeah.
Number two, the Florida Panthers. I mean, talk about a story. Last year, going all the way from the 8th seed to the Cup final, and this year, they're even better. They're the second team in that division, and people think they're probably the best team. They're really deep, and they have elite goaltending.
Yeah.
And then third, Tampa Bay. Shocker. Tampa Bay in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
So just to review so those are Jack's predictions. Where it sits right now, we have in the Atlantic. This is the three who are in the playoffs if the season were to end today. It is the Boston Bruins at 1, the Florida Panthers at 2, and third is the Toronto Maple Leafs. The only difference as of right now, but even with that, Tampa Bay is not far. They are just outside. They are in a wild card spot. So
everyone in the East for that wild card spot, it could be 5 teams for those 2 spots. They flip flop every night, but it's wide open.
Yeah. Who you got winning that Metropolitan again?
So the Metro, I had Carolina. Carolina. I mean, again, I thought they were a deep team.
Yeah.
Been struggling a little bit, middle of the year, but I think they'll still be fine. And then I predicted the Rangers would come in second and then the Devils in third. Rangers, again, I mean, deep team. They're set up good, much like the Bruins. Don't really see many weak spots. And then the Devils, they've been struggling. I mean, they lost some D-core. Their D has been kind of suspect, but they'll figure it out. They have plenty of time.
I was going to say, New Jersey's aren't they a decently young team too?
They are young, but the question mark coming into this year was how their defense go because they lost some veteran guys, and their young guys have showed some growing pains.
Gotcha.
They've looked good at some points, and you could see how young they are.
Gotcha.
So that was maybe a little not a good prediction on my part.
So with that said, you had Carolina, Rangers, and Devils.
Correct.
As it sits right now, it is the Rangers at 1, the Carolina Hurricanes at 2, and the Philadelphia Flyers sitting at 3 in the Metropolitan.
No one thought this from the Flyers. They came out of nowhere this year. People thought they'd be one of the worst teams in the conference.
I was going to say, haven't they? Because I know that they offloaded a decent amount of players the past couple of years, and now you would think that they'd be in rebuilding, but here they are.
They're right here.
Yeah,
and now they have question marks of their own because their goalie is caught up in some stuff. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
so that's a question. But I mean, they're a great team right now.
Oh yeah, and just so you know, the Devils again, they're not in one of the wild card spots, but they're just sitting there. They're just outside. So again, all your picks very solid. You're pretty much right, other than two teams that are sneaking in. But what are you gonna do? I was gonna say, and then for your two wild cards out of the East, who'd you got?
I originally, I originally had Toronto in that first wild card spot, and then the Wings I had sneaking into that second spot.
Yep. And as of right now, the Wings are in that spot, and then like we said before, Tampa Bay's got that number one wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna say, so obviously Wings fan.
Hard.
We'll pause for a minute. Let's have a quick Red Wings minute. How are you feeling right now?
Beginning of the year was great. They came out looking good. I saw everything I needed to see from them. You know, steps. Their off-season additions started good. Then December came, and it looked like back to the Wings from a few years ago, where they were playing bad hockey, couldn't get wins, and were just dumb mistakes and just not playing good. And then it's like the New Year's hit. They got all that bad juju out, and they're 9-2-1 in their last 12 games.
Awesome.
And that's catapulted them back into this wild card conversation. And so the way I kind of looked at it as a fan is the December and Januaries were both kind of outliers. They canceled each other out, and they're back to where I think this Wings team should be.
Gotcha.
They should be fighting for this playoff spot. Yeah. They're good enough. They have the talent.
Do you think the signing or the acquiring of Patrick Kane had anything to do with that resurgence?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Patrick Kane has done way more than even I thought as a fan. You know, he's coming off hip resurfacing surgery.
Yeah.
And before Patrick Kane, there were a few players that have gotten that surgery before, and they only ever combined for like 20 games.
Jeez.
Ever. And Patrick Kane gets it. He waits, a month or two into the season, fully recover, and then he comes to the Wings, and he's looked. I mean, I thought he was coming in to be, a locker room guy, veteran guy, arguably one of the best, if not the best American hockey player ever. And he's come in and slotted in as a middle six guy that's getting them points.
Awesome.
And, his first 10 games, he was averaging almost a point a game, which it wasn't unheard of. So he's been a real good breath of fresh air, and it's been amazing to see. And I never, as a Wings fan, never thought I'd see a Patrick Kane in a Red Wings jersey.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people ever thought he would leave Chicago, but, things happen. Things definitely happen. But yeah, no, the eyes are playing. It's working.
Yeah,
it's
the eyes are playing. Looking great. Like the rest of the year, just make a playoff. Get some of your young, star players like Seider, Raymond, even Larkin. Get him back. Get him in some playoff experience, because the next few years, if these prospects that we have that are looking good continue to develop, watch out for the Detroit Red Wings. We might be one of the top teams here coming up. And Steve Yzerman running it. I mean, he has the pedigree from building Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
you just got to
be
patient.
Patient.
I mean, everything's working out good. Prospects are looking good, and the team's getting better every year, and that's all we could want.
Exactly. I was going to say, that's definitely where you want to be. It may be hard when you have young guys and they struggle, but if you're patient, let them get experience, let them build up, and you keep building that roster.
A few years ago, it was really tough being a Wings fan because they were real bad. They didn't really have a future or a path, but he's coming in, he's given Wings fans hope again. Like, we can get back to where we were in the 90s and the 2000s, competing, winning championships, and just being that team that everyone was afraid of every night. So I love where we're going.
If the Detroit Lions can win 2 playoff games, the Red Wings can make it into the playoffs.
Amen.
Okay. Sliding from the East, let's go to the West. We'll start in the Central. Who were your 3 picks to win the Central?
So my 3 picks were the Colorado Avalanche at 1, the Dallas Stars at 2, and the Wild at 3. Do you want to read the standings? And I have a fun fact about the Colorado Avalanche.
So right now, the Central is led by the Winnipeg Jets at 1,
Amazing.
The Colorado Avalanche at 2, and the Dallas Stars at 3. Your other pick of Minnesota is as of right now, they're buried in the West right now. They're going to need some help. What do you think about that?
So as much as we said the East is kind of, a bunch of teams clustered together, the wild card, the first through 8th teams in the wild card in the West are all separated by 6 points. So all we need for the wild pick, just get hot. And you never know what can happen. Like, they're not out of it by any stretch.
Yeah, no,
but
it's the points. Like, the 2 wild card teams are for the West are at 53 and 51 points. After that, it's 50. 2 teams at 49. 2 teams at 47. So
and again, it's like you have a good week, you're right back in the playoffs. But here's a Nathan McKinnon on the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah,
top 5 player in the league. So here's something. So you ever heard of someone named Wayne Gretzky?
The great one.
Yeah, pretty good at hockey, right?
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of good. He was kind of good.
He holds the NHL record to get at least 1 point in every home game of the regular season. 42 games, he got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't look now, but Nathan McKinnon has a 24 home game point streak.
Jeez.
Long way to go in the season.
Yeah.
Long way to go. But he's doing something that's never been done before. Yeah. The second place was like 19. And he's at 24. And
that's crazy.
It's just, he's on another level right now.
Yeah. For anyone who is listening to this and you're not familiar with hockey, Wayne Gretzky, and you don't know who Wayne Gretzky owns some of the most ridiculous records in NHL and maybe even hockey.
Let's just say it like this. Any skater or individual record that you can think of for the NHL
that involves
scoring or winning championships, he holds that record.
Yeah.
He holds like
he's
something
the Michael Jordan.
80 something records.
Yeah.
Here's another fun stat, Wayne Gretzky, for you. If you take away, he's obviously the highest scoring player in league history, right?
Yeah.
You take away all his goals. Yager now passed it, but
yeah,
he would still be second all time in points with just his assists.
That is one of the most, and that just shows he was scoring goals, but at the same time he was also setting people up. Yeah,
he was doing it for fun.
Oh yeah,
it's just it's not fair what he's doing. Like what he did in the league was insane, and to think someone in the modern day has a chance to at least match a record is crazy.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely insane. But yeah, Nathan McKinnon, definitely that Colorado Avalanche team, they are. It's crazy that they've only won 1 cup so far, but again, there's still time. They can still win. If I had to put money on it, they're probably going to win at least 2 more.
They should win at least one or two more for sure. I mean, you have. Again, Nathan McKinnon, arguably one of the best players in the league. And then you have Cale Makar, who's a top 3 defenseman in the league.
Yeah.
And both of them were drafted by the team. They weren't traded. Mm-hmm. So they're homegrown guys.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
They're going to be a team at the top for many years to come.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So moving from the Central, let's go to the Pacific. Who'd you got? Who were your top 3 teams there?
So, I had the Edmonton Oilers at 1. Struggled a little bit, but they're figuring it out now. 15-game win streak, by the way. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
The LA Kings at 2, and the Vegas Golden Knights, your team, at 3. Vegas is really, surprised me. Aiden Hill, he might be actually elite.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I have a note here. He has a sub 2 goals against average in the modern day league is insane. He has a 1.90. The next closest is 2.17. That is insane. It must be so great as a player.
You want to break that stat down?
Yeah. Goals against averages. It basically, I mean, it's what it sounds. It's how many goals a goalie gives up throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
And so growing up.
Yeah.
When we were kids.
Yeah.
If starting goalies normally had around a high 1 or a low 2, right? That was really good.
Yeah.
Anything higher than that, you weren't considered anything. Like you were a backup. Well, now the league's way more high scoring.
Yeah.
So now, if your goalie can get a 2.5 goals against average, you're pretty happy with that because that's keeping you in games, and you're gonna bet your team can score 3 goals.
Yeah.
So to have someone that's only given up under 2 goals a game, is something we haven't seen in the league in years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, Aiden Hill, definitely one of the guys. Logan Thompson. Vegas has got 2 good goalies. So as it stands right now in the number one, so just to review, it was Edmonton, LA Kings, and Vegas. As the standings are now, it is Vancouver in the driver's seat at 1, Vegas in the second seat, and in third is the Edmonton Oilers. The Kings are sitting in a wild card spot right now, and as we said before when we were talking about the Central, the wild card, it's every team, the 2 wild card teams, and then five teams, the 5 teams after them, they're all in that. There's still a lot of, obviously we're halfway through the season. There's a lot of things can happen.
Still to
a
play,
lot of things can happen.
If we go back to this wild card thing, is one of the reasons I love hockey. I think NHL is probably the league with the most parity, because you have all these teams halfway through the year that can still talk themselves into, hey, we can be a playoff team.
Oh yeah.
And quick note about Vancouver, coming nowhere, top of their division, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have elite scoring. Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson, great, amazing players. Their goalie, Thatcher Demko, I'm going to read you some of his stats. He's having the best year of his career right now. Okay?
Yeah.
He's 25-8.
Jeez.
A .922 save percentage. Again, elite. Because same thing with the goals against average, where that's gone, higher. Save percentages now, if you can get a goalie just at 900,
that's
good.
pretty good.
A 920, and he has a 2.4 goals against average, which is, I think, still top 10 in the league.
Jeez.
And that's all you need. If you have elite scoring, they go put in 4 goals a game, and he can just relax and give up 2.
Yeah, I feel like the NHL is definitely one. I feel like you get a goaltender that gets hot, and you can go on runs.
You saw it last year with Florida.
Yep.
Sergei Bobrovsky
Bob.
finally clicked in Florida after a few years. Everyone thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
And look what he did.
And they went on a run. They got to the finals.
I mean, an 8 seed making it to the Cup final.
Yeah,
is crazy. Is a crazy thing.
Yeah. And who were your 2 West wild cards?
It was the Flames and the Kraken, so I'm kind of missing a little bit there.
Yeah, those, and again, they are one of the 2 of the 5 teams that are outside the wild card, but again, they're there. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things can go their way. If they start getting on the winning side, they'll be fine. So, as of right now, solid picks. You have a correct team in every.
The East is definitely looking better than the West is.
Yeah,
the East was pretty close. The West was.
I was gonna say, you don't have them in the right spot, but you did.
I have
predict
the teams
them.
at least.
Yeah, you got the teams correct, so that's pretty good. But yeah, it's pretty good. We'll have to, again, at the end of the season, we'll be back, and then we'll tally it up, see how good we did.
I'll need to get a grade from you guys based on how they finish out.
And so,
what do you want to move on to next?
Well, let's just talk about the season in general. How have you felt about the season so far? Like I don't know. Just I got some stats about the season so far, everything that's been going.
So like we talked in the season preview beginning of the year, everyone was so excited. It was the Connor Bedard year. It felt like hockey fans been waiting for Connor Bedard for 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's lived up to the hype. He got injured, the end of December. He's out, 6 to 8 weeks, so he's going to miss the All-Star game, unfortunately. But he has been everything advertised.
Yeah.
He is putting up highlights every night. He's probably one of the few bright spots on this Blackhawks team.
Yeah.
Everyone knew would be bad. They didn't know it'd be this bad. And he is just he has 15 goals in his rookie year, which is crazy. And he's missing, 20 games because of this injury. He's great. So that's been the story. Boston, everyone thought, myself included, they take a step back. Okay. They broke the league record last year for most wins.
Yeah.
And it looks like they haven't missed a stride. Jeez. They've responded. Patrice Bergeron, leaving, retiring. They slotted new guys right in. They look great.
Yep.
And so I think that's a story. We touched on the McKinnon thing, which is a story because, the point streak is an amazing thing.
Yeah, what's he currently at? What was
24
it?
games.
24. And he has to do that for 20
about
20 more.
20 about 18 20 more depending on how many home games they have. Yeah, about 20 more games.
Geez.
So again, long way to go, but to be even in January and having this conversation is crazy.
Oh yeah. Some of the stats I got here, I know right now period 3 comebacks this season are up.
Yeah.
Just some of the stats I got from NHL.com.
Wings tied for the league lead in third period. Can't kill these Wings.
As of right now, there have been 80 multi-goal comeback wins, are tied for the fourth most at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's behind 4 years. And the numbers they're behind are 89, 87, 84. All those seasons of 1985, 86, 2018, 2019, 1986, 87. So basically, hockey games are just like, don't turn it off.
No, yeah.
You got to watch that third period.
Again, goes back to the parity thing. Teams are so good, and it's like any given night, anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
Like you said, you never want to turn games off because you never know what can happen.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely crazy. I was going to say, like, reading that stat, like, their comeback wins, that makes you want to watch, or at least if you don't watch hockey, makes you at least, or at least turn on the third period, because you don't know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Team could be down 3 goals and right like that.
Yeah, they're right.
The other team's
right
back in it, tied, go into overtime, go to shootout. Like, that's absolutely crazy. Like,
and on the flip side, though, as a fan, and if you're up in a game, you're sweating it out because you don't want to be the team that gives up a 3-goal lead in the third period.
Yeah,
you just want your team to finish. So it's made a lot of games really interesting.
I will say, wasn't there? What didn't? I was gonna say, I think you said this before. The Red Wings do they have the most come from behind wins this, or like, because I know there was one game when they were down, like, what was it, like 5-1, 5-2 something, and then they came back, tied it, went to overtime, and then won the game.
They're either leading or tied for the most comeback wins entering the third period in the league, and it's great. It's, again, as a fan, that's what you want to see.
Oh yeah,
positive movements as teams competing.
Absolutely,
and it makes the whole league fun when you never know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely makes it interesting, especially for people who aren't as familiar with hockey or watch hockey as much as you or I. I know I'll throw on a hockey game no matter what, because I very much enjoy watching hockey and everything like that. But yeah, no, the season so far has been great. Before we move into any other topics, we'll talk about the Winter Classic. Okay. Winter Classic, because my team yet again got to participate in it.
Yep.
Vegas versus the Seattle Kraken, 2, the newest expansion teams, played at Mariner Park. I watched a little bit, but it was Vegas disappointingly lost 3-0. But what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, the Winter Classic it's always cool. You know, growing up playing hockey as a kid, you always play outside a lake or backyard. So you always like watching it because you can kind of imagine yourself like you're back. And all the players always say it's like we're a kid again. You're playing outside. All the guys love it. You see guys will have all the hair out.
Yeah,
and they're always looking good. But Winter Classics are always a good time.
Oh yeah, I would say, like, if you're not a hockey fan, I definitely recommend watching the Winter Classic because it's really cool. Like, I don't know, there's just not a sport that really has anything like that. Well, like, because all the other sports, I feel like they have. It's just the All-Star game.
It's like you get some of these previous years, you have some iconic moments. You have when Pittsburgh played Detroit one year, it was basically a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Like, you having to stop games to shovel because there's snow coming down. You don't get that in normal games.
No.
There's just been great times. I mean, the Wings and the Leafs set the NHL record for the biggest game ever, the Centennial Classic, which was the Winter Classic that year, at the Big House in Michigan. Yeah. 101,000 people, most ever at a hockey game.
That's crazy.
So they're just great times, and it's a lot of fun.
I've not been to a Winter Classic, but I have been to 2 outdoor hockey games, and I will tell you, like, it's cold out.
It's a different experience.
It is a different experience, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, they're a great time. Yeah.
I was gonna say, here's the question: what stadium or where would you want to see a Winter Classic played that hasn't been played yet? Because I know they've played. They've played at Wrigley. I'm pretty sure they've hit, like, for the most part, the big
yeah.
I just want to point out that the Toledo Walleye, the flag on the wall there, have played.
They have
in the outdoors as well.
They have
in Toledo.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I went to one of those. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. They were so funny enough on the Winter Classic broadcast. They thought it was funny to be like, "No, where they need to play the Winter Classic, Arizona," and I'm like, "Yeah, right."
That would be interesting.
It would be interesting.
It'd be interesting. I think you.
Yeah, because
I would want to do one in Minnesota because it's the state of hockey, but it's
Yeah.
like I don't know where you would do it.
you'd probably have to do it at the University of Minnesota like stadium.
Football stadium.
That
yeah.
or I feel like Camp Randall at University of Wisconsin would be pretty. There's not a team in Wisconsin,
Yeah,
but I
like,
still
that's
think
the
that'd
tough
be.
thing is, like,
It would still be
it would
cool.
be tough.
They haven't done. I'm actually kind of shocked they haven't tried to do it at Ohio State Stadium.
There is talk like of a possible future one, maybe 2026, of them wanting to do it there and do Columbus, Detroit.
That would be awesome.
But there's a lot of other, I think, logistics they got to figure
Yeah.
out. But there's been talk for that for years, and that's that's the thing people want.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other places.
They've done Philly. Obviously, you'd want to do some rivalries, but like they've done Philly, Pittsburgh, which is big rivalries.
They do it at the Steelers Stadium one year?
They've
thought
done
they hit
them.
them,
I think in both.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're just trying to think of those cities where like the hockey teams are, but at the same time, like they did do one on what was it? It was Lake Tahoe, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, for Vegas and Colorado, and there were some logistics things that went kind of wrong with that, but
if you could figure out how to do another lake game, that would be an iconic thing.
Yeah, no, that would
there's
be.
one thing doing it outside in a stadium, but you're doing it on an actual lake.
Yeah, no,
and that's cool if they could do that again.
I would say I want to say Cleveland Stadium because it's right next to the lake. That's where I went to Ohio State versus Michigan hockey there. That one was pretty cool. I feel like they could do that, but I don't know. They've done all the iconic like for the northern like iconic baseball stadiums and everything like that. But yeah, no. Just some ideas. I would say if it does go through that they go to the shoe, that'd be Columbus in Detroit. That would be absolutely
I definitely
electric.
think
That'd be awesome.
It'd be definitely a must see for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So normally at the midway season of the hockey, midway through the hockey season, we have All-Star Weekend, and I want to talk about the NHL All-Star Weekend because out of all All-Star, Pro Bowl, whatever weekends, I feel like the NHL has every league beat because I feel like every event they do is entertaining. Everything that they do, it's just the entertainment value is better because like the NBA, like I feel like they've tried. It's the dunk contest. Dunk contest I feel like has gone downhill, isn't as popular. The Pro Bowl is just a joke to me anymore. Like you literally might watch one event, like watch the dodgeball because it's kind of funny to watch the NFL players whip dodgeballs at each other. And it's a flag football game now. It's not even a real game. Major League Baseball All-Star, that's pretty cool. Home Run Derby, but a lot of people would say that baseball is kind of a dying sport, or at least a sport that's trying to make a comeback. But NHL, I feel like every time you turn on the skills or turn on even the game, like they're playing. Like
so, as a lifelong fan, I've had my gripes with the NHL where I've wanted them to promote some more of these stars, some of these kids. They just don't seem to promote them as much. The one thing I will give them credit though, the one thing they have gotten right is the All-Star game. They found the perfect balance of making it fun, while still making it like kind of competitive.
Yeah.
And they found the perfect balance, and they always just hit it out of the park every year.
And that's why I feel like I was alluding to was like you feel like every other pro game, maybe baseball, I feel like has a little bit of a competitive edge, but like every other All-Star weekend or whatever, it doesn't feel like they're just like, oh, we're the best, we're just gonna chill, we're not gonna hurt ourselves. But like hockey, like again, they're not gonna try to hurt themselves. They're not going out
hitting each other and stuff. But
they're not gonna be like, I'm just here to skate around. You could still
see the competitive streak.
Yeah,
kind of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, I just wanted to bring that up. All-Star Weekend's is coming around. They're doing something different, told me.
I'm excited. New formats this year for both the skills competition and the actual All-Star game. So for the skills competition, they used to, take a few players from each of the divisions. And, well, now they're just taking 12 players from all their All-Stars, and they're competing for $1 million, winner take all.
That's awesome.
So they're gonna have 6 events. Players will do 4 out of the first 6 events, and you're competing to rack up points. So if you finish in first place in your event, you get 5 points, then 4, then 3, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. When they get to the 7th event, which is their shootout, they take the top 8 in points, and those are the people that are competing. And then same thing, points, you go down from there, 8 or 7, 6, 5, all the way down, right?
Yeah.
And then for the final event, which is your top 6, it's worth double points. Mm-hmm. It's an obstacle course. So first place is 10 points, second place is 8. And then at the end, you just tally up all the points. Whoever has the most, you walk away with $1 million.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that sounds freaking awesome. So I don't know all the events, but which event do you think you thrive in? Because I know they have like hardest shot. I think they have like accuracy. They have the handling skills, stick handling, skating. Like which one of those would you're obviously you're probably not going to beat an NHLer, but like guys of your same skill level, you're like I can give it a run for their money, or at least compete.
I actually think I could do good in like the shootout style event.
Yeah.
Because like it's the mix where guys are competing, but they're also having fun. So you see players bring out props and different things different years.
Yeah.
I think you could be pretty creative.
Yeah.
With shootout and stuff like that. So I think I could do that.
Although
the obstacle course does sound fun.
Yeah.
Jumping, sliding on the ice. It sounds fun though.
As a guy who's not a great skater, like that sounds scary to me, but it'd be hilarious to watch. Okay. We've talked a lot of fun. This might be a little bit.
Hold on. For the game though, we forgot to mention the game format also changed.
Oh yeah.
So now they're not doing it by divisions, division teams, and then you were going for a cash prize. They're going back to what I think is probably the most fun as a fan, the fantasy draft.
Yeah.
Because you grow up playing games, you do a fantasy draft. You want the best players playing against, different lineups that you won't ever see in normal game.
And I feel like that's kind of they're not. They did that. They did that before, right?
Yeah, they've done it before. They've gone away from it. Now they're back to it.
I was gonna say because I feel like a lot of, at least the NBA and I know the NFL do it now, where it's like it's not this conference versus conference. It's just get everyone pick who you want and
so
go
what
at
they're
it.
doing is you have 4 teams. You have one guy from each of the divisions.
Yeah,
but they're not again categorized by divisions. They are partnered with different celebrities. I wasn't able to find those, but then it's. Everyone else who's not a captain is in a long list, and they pick and choose a team, 11 players, and then it's 3-on-3.
That's awesome.
Who doesn't love 3-on-3?
Oh, yeah.
With the best players in the world.
Oh, yeah. No, that's freaking awesome. That's going to be exciting. I will definitely be tuning in.
Definitely.
So, okay. So now we're going to head to the heart. This part might get a little dark, but at the same time, it is heading to the heartland of hockey, which is Canada. There is a story that it was funny that you brought this up to me and I had just heard about it. There's a scandal going on with Canadian hockey. Just can't.
It's so their official name is Hockey Canada.
Hockey Canada, yeah.
The organization.
They're
the ones that run like the Canadian national teams, the junior teams. So like the USA is the USA Association.
Yeah. Hockey
Canada is the same, is like their version.
Yeah.
Organizes all their big trips, all the national team stuff, all the stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but So story, and I'll just say what I heard. I just scroll through YouTube sometimes. I'll watch some of the shorts, everything, and it was about it was Corey Hart, the goalie for. Well, is he involved in this, or was that just
We'll get
okay. So basically, from Team Canada won the World Juniors in 2018.
The gold medal, yeah.
Gold medal, and there's accusations that 5 of those players sexually harassed a woman, sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And it's not coming to light now. It was kind of things were brought up, but things might have been covered up. I was gonna say I'm gonna turn it to you because I feel like you have more information on it.
Again, it involves the members of the 2018 Hockey Canada World Junior team. Mm-hmm. The accusation originally came out in 2022 that it was a sexual assault from that. And not only was it that Hockey Canada tried to also, again, their accusation is that they tried to cover it up without it getting out. On January 24th, the news broke, because this has been being investigated for almost a year and a half now. They haven't given updates. It's been very kept in-house, very quiet. But January 24th, London, Ontario Police Department, where kind of like the base of the investigation starts, they announced that they 5 players from that team that are on different teams now were asked to surrender themselves to police. They're given 2 days to come to London, Ontario to surrender themselves, or there would be a warrant. I have the names Michael McLeod and Cal Foote from the New Jersey Devils, Carter Hart of the Philadelphia Flyers, Dylan Dubé from the Calgary Flames, and former NHLer Alex Fermenton, who's playing in Europe, was also called back. And so originally the names officially haven't been released. Those players that I named aren't suspects. They have been placed on indefinite leave from their teams.
Gotcha. But
people have been kind of placing it together that all of these guys have been placed on long-term leave right as this report's coming out. It's a lot of question marks still in the air, but people are piecing stuff together. And the most recent announcement was London Police Department have announced they're going to have a press conference updating everyone. February 5th, kind of telling everyone what they found, what's going. And the NHL has announced that they will they will actually release, when it's all done, release it all to the public, which was a good move by them.
No, at least addressing it and being open. So, that's very dark.
So, but sexual assault is, again, a very horrible thing. But the part that goes deeper, too, is if they've found out that Hockey Canada actively suppressed this, whether it is trying to come with a settlement, or which I've seen reported, or other things, that is a whole different story, too. Because that goes up to the highest levels of that organization that have had their own problems in the past, too, with other stuff. And
if you know anything about Hockey Canada, hockey is Canada.
They're one and the same.
It is a nation sport. Like in the United States, you may talk like there are all these different sports. Like this is America's game. Canada, it's hockey. There's no question.
You're a hockey player, and then you go to other sports first.
Basically, and that's the thing. Why? Definitely, when you mentioned this, I was like, we definitely need to talk about it, because it's
a big story. And it'd be wrong if we didn't bring it up. Because even though it is a dark thing, it's something we have to talk about. Because it's in the news. And it's only right.
Not life isn't all sunshines and rainbows.
It is not.
But it's unfortunate. But no. By the time this comes out, you said the report's coming out, or
the press conference is February
5th. I'm pretty sure we'll be publishing this on 31st. If I'm correct on that, 31st. So if stay up to date with the this developing story. It's crazy. Just a lot of I know I skimmed through one of the articles, and I was just a couple of things that I saw were graphic. I was like, geez, this is not gonna bode well for any of those 5 guys involved, and then anyone.
But again, we have to state everyone, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
They have not been formally charged. They've just been asked to report. I want to get that there. We're not saying anything. They've just been asked to come in. And as of right now, that's all we know.
Gotcha. Well, that's a big story, and again, hopefully by the end of the season it'll be wrapped up. We can put a lid on that, but until then, we'll probably won't talk hockey until we're in the playoffs. And Jack's 100% correct on all of his picks.
Of course. Real quick though, do we want to talk something I didn't think as a hockey fan we get to, but possible more expansion?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because just I know. The ECH, I know NHL has already expanded twice with Vegas and Seattle. I know new ECHL team, because now play against Toledo.
Yep.
The Bloomington
Bison.
Bison. I was gonna say, like, it is hockey. Are we gonna see a new hockey? Here's the thing. I got a better question. What do you think is more likely to happen? A franchise to move, or a new franchise being brought in? Because, and I'll let you think for a sec. I know you probably have an answer, but
yeah,
because there have been rumors of a lot of teams. I'll just say Arizona, that they've talked about moving, that they should move because they play in a college ice arena.
So that actually goes on to.
But like I know that's basically the one team where I feel like, for me, I don't really know whether they'd want to put another team or if they just want to move Arizona. What do you think?
So this is me as a fan. I think they're looking to relocate. Because I think the league is happy. You have 32 teams.
Yeah.
You're evenly distributed, 16 in each conference. And I think you don't want to mess up that balance. So I think it would be more obvious that a team like Arizona would move. Which is funny we bring that up because Arizona has to submit a plan to the league on what they're doing for a future arena. Or the league will step in and make choices for them. So it was also interesting. I mean, we go back to January 24th, not even 15 minutes after the Hockey Canada news went out about the players.
Yeah.
Smith Entertainment Group submitted an official expansion request to the NHL. And they are basically the ownership group of the Jazz, of Real Salt Lake, the ownership group of the sports teams in Salt Lake City. And they have been saying for a few years they want to get an NHL team in Salt Lake City, much saying how the success Vegas had in getting, Vegas wasn't a sports market, but they're getting teams, and now look at them, they're a popular team. Yeah. And so they're claiming that they can do the same thing with Salt Lake City. They said in their kind of request, they admit that they'll probably have to share an arena with the Jazz for the first few years of the team. But their plan is to build a brand new state-of-the-art hockey facility for both pros and Olympic style.
Wow.
So, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a plan for the future.
I was going to say, I didn't want to overstep because I swore I heard something about Utah putting in, but that's pretty cool. I know the one team that I feel like even if I'm not... Like, again, I'm not a huge hockey historian, but I feel like a team that people want to see come back, that it may never happen, but Quebec Nordiques, I know that's like a wish that everyone wants.
It's one of those, if you think of, iconic franchises.
Yeah.
You think of obviously the original 6 teams.
Yeah.
The Red Wings, the Hawks, the Bruins, the Rangers, stuff like that. But it's like the Quebec Nordiques. I mean, you think it was a team in Quebec, Canada, Quebec predominantly French speaking, right?
Yeah.
But it was a team like they could get behind, and they're like a lot of the all-time great French Canadian players.
Yeah.
They always say, Quebec was either their favorite team growing up or they played for them. And it's an area that is dying to get a hockey team because they are claiming they have the infrastructure and the fan base that would, if you bring back the Nordiques, they would support that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like that's definitely been discussion for the past couple years.
I mean, it was Quebec was in one of the last cities for both the Vegas expansion and the Seattle one. And I think it's just more not if. I think eventually we're getting to a point where they are probably going to eventually either move a team, or if they want to expand the league more, revive the Nordiques back.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something I can definitely see happening soon. But yeah, hopefully we'll see either more hockey teams, or we're going to see a hockey team that's kind of in a pit right now gets pulled somewhere else. I don't know.
I will say this though about Arizona. I feel bad for the hockey fans there because the NHL has really tried to make hockey grow. I mean, the best player in the league, Austin Matthews, is from Arizona. And, that's something 10 years ago you would never say.
No.
That the best player in the league is from a state that reaches, 120 degrees.
Yeah.
Whereas, it's crazy. And it's like the league has really tried to make it work, but it's just
Yeah.
for some reason it hasn't stuck.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for like the fans that are there.
Yeah.
The Coyote fans there, because
Yeah.
they are a passionate fan base, and the Coyotes are actually doing pretty good this
Yeah,
year.
they are.
Which is shocking. They're one of those teams in the wild card hunt that no one thought.
Yeah.
You know, we've kind of always written off them, and here they are.
Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, no, moving forward, hopefully, again, more hockey teams, more hockey. I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah, of course.
Love more teams, more competition. So, you got anything else for us to discuss on here? I was going to say.
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything. I mean, obviously, trust the Yzer plan. Wings fans, we're on the right path. We'll be there. Cup in 2027.
Well, all I got to say is if you're
Sebastian Costa is him. Future.
all I got to say is after end of last season, Vegas Golden Knights still pretty good. A lot of injuries, but we're still competing, and I just know that hoisting this one time.
This guy wins one cup and thinks they're everything.
We've been around. We've been in existence for 6 years, and look what we got. We got a cup. A cup is better than no cup. There are teams that have been around way longer that have no cup, and look, we have a cup. So you can make fun of me all you want, but I rather have a cup than no cup. Again,
fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Can't disagree with that. To be fair, out of our 6 seasons, we have one cup out of 6 seasons. What's the percentage right there? I can't do math quickly.
It's like 17%.
Something like that. Look at that. Out of our 6 seasons, we have won a cup 17% of the time.
This guy, dude. This guy.
Numbers, man. Well, Jack, again, appreciate you coming. Love talking hockey because I know you're very passionate and you very much love this is a sport that I know every time I talk to you, whether it's playing video games or in person with you, I know you talk about hockey. Hockey is it for you.
Yeah, so I always say, college football is probably up there, but it's like hockey is another thing. Like the Wings couldn't even be playing, and I'll turn on any game and just watch it just for fun.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see some great things, and it's awesome. So I loved it. I love always coming on here.
Yeah.
Great time.
Don't worry, you'll be back for end of season. We'll talk playoffs and everything like that.
I'm excited for playoff time.
But before you leave, we got to do our tradition. We have to draw from the question jar.
Oh, real quick before we move on, preseason, one of my long shot when we did a little betting right at the end. One of my long shot picks, Stars at plus 1,700, and now they're second in their division. So if you took that bet, you were sitting on some great value right now.
Dallas to win?
To win the cup. Win the 1,700. If you took that, you are sitting on great value right now.
That's crazy.
Because they're probably third best team in the West.
That's fair. They made a decent run last year.
Yeah, so it's like
they could do it.
I mean, that's great value. And when you're looking for a future, that's a good value right there.
Before we draw, not saying that their questions are going to be picked. Shout out to Mr. Will Robinson and Jack Herrick. Your questions did make it into the jar if you weren't following on Facebook, but I did like your questions. So you are in the jar. So
fellow friends of the program too.
So now it's up to fellow friends of the program. It's up to Jack if he's going to pick your question. So
even if I don't, we're still friends.
We got a name on there, or is it just a random?
I turned it upside down. It is a random.
Ooh.
So it said, what would your last meal be? 1 app, 3 main courses, and 1 dessert. Unlimited drinks.
Yeah. So to be fair, I wrote this one, and just to break down this question, I wrote all that just so I can be like, here are the stipulations.
Okay.
Just so if we pick it, like you're like meal, you mean I can have like all? Yeah. I'm like
okay.
But I was gonna say I gotta read it just because But do you know off the top of your head or at least here we can break it down first. What would be your appetizer?
I mean, I love me a good buffalo chicken dip.
Give
me some buffalo chicken dip, and I'm good.
I'm gonna I'll do fried pickles. I
That's
love
a-
I love me some fried pickles.
That's
I've
another
got to
good-
have
good
fried
choice.
pickles.
Yep.
3 main courses. I know I'm gonna have to have a steak.
Steak or something.
Steak's got to be in there.
I'm a big fried chicken guy, so
I was gonna
some
say
fried chicken.
that was
in there.
on the list.
Either fried chicken or some chicken wings. One of the two.
I gotta go with also. I have to have steak, mashed potatoes with gravy, and I can think of something else. I was gonna say corn casserole.
Ooh, okay.
I love corn casserole.
I think I'm gonna go with some fried chicken. Good made fried chicken. Some shrimp Alfredo.
Ooh,
Love me some noodles, some Italian food.
yeah.
And then I think my other one, give me a nice, nice good Mexican burrito.
I'm gonna backpedal. Not corn casserole. I'd get pad thai. I love pad thai. Pad thai is one of my favorite. It's like kind of become one of my new favorite things, but I love it. For dessert,
I already know mine.
go for it.
A good peanut butter pie.
Oh,
It'd be over. That's number 1.
I'm just trying to think here because I have to have some. You know what? I'm gonna throw. I had this in what was it? In Chicago. We went to an upscale restaurant for dessert because all the actual food was overpriced. I got it was like sticky bun bread pudding.
Oh.
One of the best. Oh, so good, so good. And
Okay.
to drink, I would have a glass of milk because I love me a glass of milk and glass of milk. You know what? Glass of milk, a Coke, and we'd probably finish it off with like a fruity drink.
Give me a Mountain Dew guy.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew. If I'm going out my last meal, I'm gonna go out with the Dew.
Gotcha. I actually no milk. I'd do a milkshake and a Coke, and that'd be it.
Solid choices all around for sure.
Awesome. Well, again, my friend, thank you.
Always,
we will
yeah,
see you
happy.
at the end of the season.
Yeah,
look
forward to it.
Hopefully your wings keep doing what they're doing. Hopefully
Eyes are
even
playing,
better.
believe.
Just keep pushing.
Believe.
Vegas Golden Knights. They're there. They can, as long as they keep pushing. They started out very hot. They cooled off for a bit, but hopefully they keep pushing. We can, at minimum, make it to the playoffs. Maybe try to get another cup, but we will see. Again, thank you, Jack. Always a pleasure.
Always, yeah, great time.
And that's a wrap for another episode. Thank you. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and again, buddy, thank you for coming. See you all on the next one.